everyone. I am NadiaBJones, and this is the 90-Day Vision Transformation Challenge. Today is Tuesday, so happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope everyone had a chance to hit their affirmations with some enthusiasm this morning and reaffirm and confirm who God says you are, not who the world says you are, not who the devil, our enemies say we are. I hope you had a chance to get lost in your imagination, thinking and dreaming about that man or woman that God has created you to be, doing the things that He has called you to do. All right. Now, I made a video yesterday. I just didn't get a chance to upload it. I'm telling you, my days have been extremely busy. But I will upload it today. But I'm gonna keep moving forward with the week. So, listen. What I want to talk about this morning, it may be a season in your life where God is calling you to stretch, and the stretch that He's asking you to do is so uncomfortable. I mean, let's think about stretching our bodies, right? In the physical world, in our physical bodies, when we stretch, a lot of times it does not feel good. A lot of times it's so uncomfortable we can barely hold that stretch. And the whole time we're doing that stretch, we're just like, ooh, just let me breathe. You have to focus and concentrate on your breathing because it just feels like the stretch is just, woo, it's like a weird feeling of unbearable. And it's so uncomfortable. You just want to quickly stop as soon as you start. But you know that if you don't stretch, it's going to lead your body to injury, right? You know that if you don't stretch, you're going to be uncomfortable. You're even more uncomfortable than you are when you have to hit that stretch. When you don't stretch, your muscles are going to feel tight. You're going to feel stiff. You're going to feel just, like you need a massage. But the truth is, you just need a good stretch. So, and when you do that stretch, when you hold that stretch, and in time as you continue to do that stretch, what happens? You gain more flexibility. Your body is in less pain. You are preventing future injuries from happening to your body. I mean, it does so, the benefits outweigh the temporary discomfort that you feel when you do the stretch. It's the same thing spiritually. When God asks us to stretch and to do things that make us uncomfortable, that it may take up some extra time, or we may have to put in extra effort and put in extra work in certain areas of our life, and it may be uncomfortable during the duration of it, but God is trying to prevent future injuries, future downfalls, future shortcomings in our lives. When we stretch physically, we're strengthening our body. Even though we're stretching, and even though we're not lifting any weights, there's two types of stretching: dynamic and static stretching. You can strengthen your body as you stretch, right? You can strengthen those smaller accessory muscles, and therefore improve the overall performance of the larger muscles in your body, right? Improve the overall performance of your entire body by doing these dynamic and static stretching. It's the same thing when you stretch spiritually and you do things that God is asking you to do. Say, for instance, if He's asking you to get up a little earlier. Say, for instance, if He's asking you to spend more time in the Word and study. Or if He's asking you to get up and work on that project that He's been pushing you to do. Put more time and effort into it. Yeah, you may want to go out. Yeah, you may want to relax and have some downtime and just not do anything. But you need to stretch. You need to get up at the time that He's telling you to get up, because there's work for you to do during that time. Whether or not you're praying, Whether it is that God is calling you to just read in the Word, or to get into prayer and intercessory prayer for people around you, people that you know, your loved ones, this world. God is asking you to stretch some way, somehow. God may be asking you to stretch yourself and go and serve in your community. He may be asking you to stretch and just, what? It's so many different ways that God can call us to stretch, and really just calling more of us, making us step up to our duties and responsibilities as children of God in this world, as being the salt of this earth, as being the light in this world. We're gonna have to stretch, and when we stretch and we do these things that God is asking us to do, in time, if we continue to do it, if we continue to stretch, whatever comes our way in the future, all that stretching that we did in the preseason, all that stretching that we did when God asked us to do, we'll be so thankful and glad that we went on ahead and stretched, that we went on ahead and prepared ourselves spiritually in whatever area, whatever way He's asking you to stretch. Just do it. Be obedient and do what He's asking you to do. Do what He's calling you to do. Because you don't want to go into battle spiritually and you're not warmed up, and you're not stretched, you haven't been training, right? And so you go into battle against your adversary, the devil, and you lose because you have done nothing to prepare yourself. You've done nothing to strengthen yourself. You haven't stretched in all the ways that God has been leading you to stretch. You've been disobedient. And when you find yourself in the midst of a storm, you're on the chopping block. You're getting beat down because you have not stretched in all the ways that God has called you to stretch. It's to prepare you. It's to prevent future injuries spiritually. It's to prevent future downfalls for you spiritually. You can't just be weekend warriors and go out there and play a pickup basketball game and come in like we young in our teenage years. That's one way to beat yourself up. You're gonna get beat down. It's the same thing spiritually. You can't go and fight a battle that you haven't prepared for spiritually. You can't. And listen, we go into battles unequipped all the time, but as long as we do what God is calling us to do, we're not really unequipped, because we've been obedient. We've been listening to what God is telling us to do, and we've been doing those things. We've been prayed up. We've been fasting. We've been getting in our word and studying and showing ourselves approved, right? We may be unequipped, but we're obedient, and that obedience will equip us. God is going to give us everything we need to fight that battle in the right timing and at the right place, okay? But the only way that God will equip you in those ways is if you just be obedient and stretch when He says to stretch. Listen to Him, because He's really trying. It's for your protection. It's for your protection. He's trying to prepare you for something. There's something coming to you in the future. It's something ahead of you that God is trying to prepare you for. It could be a battle. It could be war. Or it could be an opportunity that's going to fall in your hands. And if you haven't done the things that God has been telling you to do, you won't steward that blessing well. You'll miss your opportunity. Or you're coming to that battle unprepared, and you'll get beat down. You'll get beat up. We still overcome, but you're going to get some wounds that you didn't have to get if only you had been obedient. Let's get as least amount of war wounds as possible. We don't want to get beat up. We don't want to suffer things that we don't have to. And if listening and being obedient and stretching in all the ways that God is calling us to stretch will keep us from suffering, extra war wounds, then listen. By all means, listen. Be obedient and stretch. Stretch in every way that he's telling you to stretch. I know it's uncomfortable, but it's for your own good. It is for your best interest that you stretch and be obedient and do the things that God is calling you to do when he calls you to do it. Because it's something down the line that God is trying to prepare you for. Whether it's for war, it's for battle, or it's for blessings and opportunities. Whatever comes your way, you want to be ready for. You want to be prepared. So do what he's calling you to do. Do what he's asking you to do. All right? That's really all I have for y'all today. I love each and every one of y'all. And y'all keep riding.